All right, guys, how are you? Welcome to Tuesday night calls, which is apparently going to be a thing at least during basketball season. I can't guarantee that this is going to be where it stays forever, but this is where we're at for now because, all the things. But I wanted to touch through a couple of announcements that we're going to talk about all about cortisol levels, how to actually optimize them and make them work in our favor, how to understand where they're optimal, when they're naturally supposed to be high, when they're naturally supposed to be low, and how many of us have managed to screw them all up, and how we can start to fix it. So, a couple of announcements first. Assessments will be completed by tomorrow, end of day. I have every intention to get through all of those. Actually, Jenna and Jamie are pretty awesome about getting through theirs by Wednesdays as well. So most of those should be done by tomorrow, if not Thursday for sure. There's only 4 more weeks of this challenge, so keep it going. I know that it feels like it is taking forever for some reason. I don't know if it is the time change or what, but I feel like I should be in bed right now. But it's one of those days where it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I should just pack it in. Let's roll back in the bed, call it good. We're done. It's been a long day. But we're going to keep pushing through. We're almost done. And then big things on the horizon, which I'm going to kind of dive into a little bit more here in a couple of minutes. So you guys kind of know what to expect moving forward, but I'm very, very, very excited about it. I did want to let you guys know there was a number of you that reached out about the shorts that I've been wearing in my stories and reels lately. That's the new Monarch release line. So there's leggings and there's shorts and there's a bra and then all of the men's tees. But they have like this really pretty like Monarch looking print on them. But they're a really thick material. So absolutely squat proof, and they're good for like winter wear. I mean, as well as, shorts can be good for winter wear, but the leggings are thick. And they're gonna be like, they say high compression. I consider them more of like a medium compression. And they go like half sizes. So I did like the medium large and they fit very, very well. I honestly was not sure about them when I first got them. You can ask Jenna and Jamie. I was like, I don't know about these things. But after working out in them, I really do quite like them. So if you haven't seen them yet, go check them out. They come in 3 different colors. Aside from that, there is another little drop on Friday that I am pretty excited about too. I haven't tried them yet, but there's a couple of new flavors coming out. So, I think a number of you will enjoy those, but I will definitely keep you posted on them as I have to, mum's the word until it's official, but expect to see those soon. As far as things that are on the horizon, we have a new custom workout program coming. Actually, multiple custom workout programming options coming, as well as more that we can do through the platform that I'm developing right now. I'm really, really, really stoked about this because we can basically move all of our coaching into one spot. You're going to get customized programming. Like for instance, like I'm looking at Amy right now, not to call you out, babe, but I know we got some sore feet, right? So like if we were going through this customized situation and you say, I have this goal and this is what I have available, I can literally go in there and I can take an existing program that I've created and I can edit those workouts to make it easier on your feet. Things like that, right? We can make it very, very specific to the individual. So I'm very excited about that kind of situation. There's also going to be that ever changing every single week, 5 new or 6 new workout programs. Workouts, not programs. But it'll be like 30-ish minutes or less, and then dumbbells, bands, body weight kind of stuff. Jamie was even talking about doing a follow along with me 30-minute workout once a week in there. Lots of cool stuff that's going to be an opportunity, and then that way it never gets old. I've been putting together the programming for it so far, and I'm going to do like a 2-week phase where it's kind of similar stuff, and then we're going to change it up, and then a 2-week phase and change it up. So you're never going to get tired of it. It's going to be ever changing, but always hitting all those body parts that we want to hit in efficient time. So thrilled for it. There's going to be other tons of multiple programs, lots of extra add-ons. I'm just so thrilled. And then we're going to be able to move all of the other stuff in there all at the same time. There's habit and consistency boards. We can do our own types of challenges. I'm so excited. So as soon as all of that is officially ready to rock and roll, I am going to get that sent your way ASAP, but expect at the end of this month, beginning of next month. There'll probably still be some ongoing updates after we first get it launched. But as soon as I have those programs up and going in there, then we'll probably start getting that turned out to you guys. So plan ahead for that, and be ready to, move all of your stuff into one spot. You can probably drop all of the other apps that you currently use for things if you so choose, because we'll be able to do it all in one place, which is super awesome. Oh, and that's the other thing that's really cool about it too is, for instance, a lot of you have like Apple Watches or Garmin's or Fitbits and that kind of thing. And you can actually, it syncs automatically with whatever your watch says, right? So steps, sleep scores, heart rates, all kinds of really cool stuff automatically links in there. So I'll be able to see what your average heart rate is when you're working out. I'll be able to see like what your average heart rate is when we're walking or when we're doing cardio, what you're doing and following through on. So that way I can be like, okay, we need to take it up a notch. We need to take it down a notch. We need to take it up a little bit faster, or things like that, to be able to optimize things for you a lot more. So I'm just so thrilled about all of it. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Oh, with that also, if you have future program ideas that you would like to see, please let me know if you have something specific. Aside from the 30-minute ones, a couple of the ones that I'm planning to create at some point, like women over 50, things that are really specific to women, like in that post-menopause area. So we're going to be focusing on that. Pre and postnatal, I had a lot of requests come through for that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna put together something for you all, obviously with doctor's approval. Gotta throw that out there. Core add-ons, plank progressions, glute add-ons, mobility and recovery add-ons. There's also going to be that hypertrophy and strength, the 3-day-a-week strength. I am even planning to put together some sort of a cycle syncing. Something that's really cool is there's going to be a calendar in there that can sync with like your phone calendar. So I can assign different things to you. Based on when your cycle starts. So I can assign when to take a deload week and then to start the next program for you. So it'll be a really cool opportunity to really customize it for you. So moving forward, here we go. Let's see. Don't forget about the sample frenzy that ends tonight. Last I knew and checked, we were really close to doing 4 gift cards, but right now I know we're at least at 3. So depending where we're at, come like midnight, right, tomorrow morning, if we happen to surpass that $400 mark worth of samples ordered in the past 7 days, I will do 4 $25 gift cards. Everybody who ordered gets entered into that, and then I give away 4 of those gift cards. So that way you can put that towards whatever you choose on the website, as far as first form stuff goes, but I would assume probably putting it towards one of the things that you chose to sample. But it's up to you what you want to do with it. From there, don't forget to pre-order the socks, you guys. I'm really excited about the socks, but there is a like minimum number I need to order. There's a number of people that said that they really, really wanted them. But if you guys, it's totally fine if you choose not to. If you guys choose to only pre-order like 15 total, I'm covering 15 pairs of socks, and God knows my sock drawer is full as it is. So if you want to pre-order the socks, please do so by the 15th. If you don't, though, I'll be buying the rest, and you might be seeing those as a giveaway at some point. We shall see. Let's see. New Family Feud style stuff is starting tomorrow in the group. I'm really quite excited for this. I don't know how it's going to really go, but it's going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to put that question up in the group tomorrow. It's not an automatic post. It'll be probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when it goes up, but you're going to have all day to answer it. Not a big deal, but there's going to be a Google Drive link. And you go in there and you answer the new thing every single day. It's like Family Feud style. The first thing that pops into your head, put that in there as your answer. I did this with Kinsey, Jenna, Jamie, and then myself. And then whoever matches most of the right stuff, you're going to get some random fun things from us. It's all about the fun. But there's some interesting questions. There's some lame questions. It's going to be good, but be prepared to have a good time for the next 7 days doing Family Feud style questions with NH Fitness. Please keep sharing and inviting people to the group. January is right around the corner, and I'm really, really excited to help everybody that may be waiting to get started until then. But if they're in the group and seeing the content ahead of time, when they're ready, they're going to feel more comfortable to reach out and get going sooner instead of trying to start to find what they want to do on the first instead. So if you know of people that are kind of looking for changes to make, kind of wanting to get moving in that direction, but they just haven't really been sure, feel free to invite them into the group. Always happy to help with whatever from there. And then another thing that did go down today that I'm going to announce to everyone in here too, I did not have that part of my notes because I wrote these yesterday. I unfortunately did have to pull the plug on the January trip. I know that I told everyone this, that is in that January HQ trip. group already. But I did want to announce it in here too, in case you missed that, or if you had been considering trying to come. Absolutely broke my heart. I've been crying all day. But it just made most sense. I was going to miss a really important and fun event that my family does every year. And I didn't want to sacrifice that time. Before I start crying, I'm going to move forward from that. But also, just from a financial standpoint, for all of you and myself, it was too much for me to financially take on at this point because things have just gotten so much tighter over the year since I originally planned this date. So rest assured, we are coming up with some new ideas of things that we're going to do throughout 2024 that are going to be even better. Likely not in St. Louis. We're going to probably do a couple of smaller type retreats around different spots in the Midwest, and looked at like California pod for Jenna, maybe go over by the East Coast for like Amy and Kim over there and all those people. We'll see what happens. I'm not really sure. We were even talking about doing an NH Fitness, what do we call it? Bling barbecue and boots, like banquet. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be a good time. So there's gonna be a lot of fun things to come, but we're gonna look for smaller, more intimate type events coming forward to make it a lot easier in everybody's pocketbooks and just make it more fun. So be staying tuned for that. Now, cortisol levels, how fitting is that for today? It's been such a stressful day. So this is going to be really helpful for anybody that is going through any sort of stressful event or just going through day-to-day life. But I wanted to go through how should cortisol naturally rise and fall throughout the day, what happens when it gets off track, and signs that it goes off track. So what is cortisol? It is a steroid hormone that your adrenal glands produce and release naturally in response to stress. Okay, so it is commonly referred to as the stress response hormone for that reason, as it gets released during times of stressful events in order to provide energy for survival. Right? We always go back to primal times. When are you stressed out? When you're primal, when you're being chased by a dinosaur and we need to run really, really fast. So your body will release cortisol and you get a surge of energy, and suddenly you are superwoman, superman, and you can outrun the world. That is what it is. However, cortisol too much, the dogs are in here moaning. I can only imagine what comes next. Cortisol too much too often can lead to added belly fat and muffin top look that so many of us are really, really struggling with. And that is going to really be difficult to lose if we continually have our cortisol really, really high at the wrong points of the day. And that can also lead to lack of muscle gain as well as muscle loss. So all of those things can become big issues that you start to fight with and struggle through if our cortisol is at the wrong levels throughout the day. So cortisol is not a bad thing, though. I don't want us to get a bad rap for it. We would literally be dead if we did not have cortisol running through our veins and as an option of a hormone in our body. So the production of it, the release of cortisol amidst like a workout, for instance, is going to be a perfect time for that cortisol release because it supplies that energy to complete the workout, right? They go hand in hand. It makes sense. Doing a hard thing, chopping wood. I don't know what you guys are doing, throwing seeds, bags of seed, or throwing hay bales. I know we got lots of ad girls in here. Whatever it is that we're doing out there that's causing that workout to happen, when we have a cortisol jump at that point, it's going to supply more of that energy to help you get through that activity, through that workout. So that's good times for cortisol. That's where we want it to be high. It's when cortisol is constantly being dumped into the bloodstream all day long that it can cause things to get out of whack. That's where we go downhill. So when are cortisol levels supposed to be naturally high and low? So cortisol naturally starts to climb on average for people around 2 a.m. So, side note, things I've learned. If you are one of those people that always wakes up at the same time every single night, middle of the night, 2:04 a.m., whatever it is for you, that is generally when your cortisol starts to spike and go back up. That is a sign that your body is responding to the stress starting to grow again. So super interesting, right? Now, it should be at its absolute peak and highest about 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up, and then gradually start to decline and decrease throughout the day, ending lowest right before you go to bed and into deep sleep. That's why they always say when you're at your lowest of your cortisol right before you go to bed, you're going to reach that deep sleep in that first half of your night and probably have more of your REM sleep in the second half of your night. That's how that kind of works. And that's how like the optimal system happens, right? So it should be kind of like a bell curve, right? And then we recover and it starts to go back up and start that bell curve again. That is cortisol working appropriately. So signs that levels are off. So you're kind of like tired and wired, right? You are exhausted, but you lay down to go to bed and you literally cannot sleep. You cannot fall asleep. You cannot stay asleep. You toss and turn, all the things. Tired and wired is a sign that cortisol is too high at the wrong times. Not always, but it's a sign. Excess belly fat that we don't really want, that won't go away no matter if we're doing like all the things right, like you're working with us and we're telling you all the things are right. It's probably a sign that we have some excess cortisol levels going on. Other things that can happen is going to be like feeling really, really weak often. Like sometimes we're going to have some days in the gym where we just don't feel very strong. But if you're having those days again and again and again, when things that used to be moderate to light are feeling really heavy, we're probably having some cortisol response issues. Easily fatigued, right? For my farm girls out there, if we can usually throw 10 bags of 50-pound seed and stack them in 15 minutes, whatever, and suddenly that task makes you feel real, real tired, it's probably a sign that our cortisol is a little bit off. Higher anxiety, right? If we're feeling very, very anxious all the time, that is a very big sign that we are stressed out, and therefore our cortisol is being dumped into our bloodstream constantly. That is another big sign. So if you're feeling very anxious, then it's a sign that our cortisol is probably a bit out of whack. You find yourself more irritable, God bless our children and our husbands for dealing with us when we're like this, but it happens to women more often, I feel like. So if we are feeling more irritable, it's also a big sign that cortisol is very much getting to an off-track situation. So working to fix or even out cortisol levels, things that we can look at. Less caffeine throughout the day. Not even just after 2 p.m., but just lower throughout the day. So try to cut it in half, maybe, right? Make sure that we're cutting it off at 2 p.m., but let's make sure that we cut that caffeine down throughout the day as well. Less high intensity workouts are going to be really, really helpful as well. So if you have been pounding pavement, doing running and running and running and running, let's back that off. Do some walking, do some strength training, do some yoga, those kinds of things. If you've been doing high intensity workouts like HIIT, CrossFit, those kinds of things, I would definitely suggest starting to back off on those as well. As much as I do love those sometimes, I would definitely suggest to back those off to like once a week and move into more of the strength training and walking instead on the daily basis to help pull back on that stress level. Also, more food is a really big thing. So many people, especially women, unintentionally undereat for so long, also causing all of those stress signals. So it might just be that we need to eat more in order to actually allow our body to lose and do what it wants to do, which is, have you be healthy, fit, happy, strong. So those are the main three things that we can really do to start helping improve these things. Now, as far as working to optimize cortisol in your favor, this one's super fun and interesting to think about. So you're naturally highest in the morning. So lifting and training in the AM is absolutely ideal, right? If you think about it, you're naturally going to have your highest cortisol level 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up. That is really like the ideal time span in there to really be doing those workouts. Doing them in the morning, matching when that cortisol is already high, you're going to have that energy release already happening. So you're just going to complement each other that much more. Now, if you're a PM lifter because that's what works for you, that's okay. I'm just saying this is the optimal thing that can work for you and it could help a lot more. Wind down at night with a consistent routine can be very helpful. Wash your face in the same time, brush your teeth, get changed, read the book. All those things can really help a lot to like do that wind down process, decompress your brain so you can fall asleep a little bit easier. Focus on the low intensity movement mid-afternoon on. If at all possible, do that lift in the morning. Go for a nice walk outside if at all possible in the afternoon will help a lot. Take in 3 to 5 grams of high quality omega omega-3 fish oils daily. Very, very helpful for reducing inflammation, especially in our brains, which is where we feel all that stress so often. It even helps lower the inflammation and swelling in our guts. So that's going to help a lot with sending all those safety signals too. So many benefits from omega-3 fish oils. So be sure to be taking those if you aren't already, especially if you're struggling with this kind of stuff. Water and hydration from salt or even like hydration sticks or like element things, whatever ones you want to use is fine, but don't be afraid to put a little bit of salt in your water. It's going to actually help your cells absorb the water and hydrate better. All the things are going to work a lot better then. And then sunlight in the morning and in the evening is going to be really helpful. I know it's getting colder out. I know that it's getting dark out sooner. But to do your best to get out there for at least 10 minutes or so in the morning, 10 minutes or so at night can be extremely beneficial to even out those cortisol levels and that circadian rhythm within your eyes and in your body and brain and the responses of when it releases the different hormones. So threw a lot at you tonight. But that is what I have for you. I hope that it's been helpful. I'm going to look at the chat real quick, but does anyone have any questions, anything they want to add, anything that they need help on? Everybody's good. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining. I hope you have an awesome night, a wonderful week. If you discover that you need anything in the meantime, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you all later on. Bye, everybody.